You ever feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells? Like you're always trying to be nice, sweet, polite, even when every bone in your body is screaming that you're tired of it. You say yes when you want to say no. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You shrink yourself to make others feel comfortable. And every time you do, something inside you gets a little quieter, a little smaller. But let me ask you something real. Where has nice gotten you? Has it earned you more respect? Has it protected your boundaries? Has it built the life you actually want? Or has it left you drained, overextended, and overlooked, watching people who are bolder, louder, and more unapologetic pass you by? See, we were raised to believe that being liked is the goal, that being agreeable is the way to stay safe, that being accommodating is the ticket to acceptance. But what if I told you that everything you were taught about being the nice girl was a lie? There comes a point, a breaking point, where you realize that the woman you've been pretending to be is suffocating the woman you were meant to become, and that is when everything changes. Because the day you stop chasing approval, the day you stop apologizing for your ambition, the day you stop making yourself small for the comfort of others, is the day you enter your bad bitch era. This isn't about arrogance. It's not about turning cold. It's about waking up to your power, owning your voice, and never again asking for permission to be who you truly are. So here's your choice. Keep playing it safe, or finally become dangerous in the best way possible. Let's talk. From the moment you were little, you started receiving messages, some subtle, some loud, about what it means to be a nice girl. Maybe it came in the form of a smile expected when you didn't feel like it, a reprimand when you were too loud, or praise when you put someone else's needs ahead of your own. Society, your family, your friends, they all work together to teach you a script. Be agreeable, be sweet, be helpful, be quiet, be the girl who doesn't rock the boat. And you learned it well. You became the girl who said yes when every instinct screamed no. You mastered the art of softening your voice, of apologizing first, of hiding your real feelings so you wouldn't upset anyone. You were praised for being kind, for being polite, for being the nice girl. But that praise came at a price that you might not even realize you're still paying. Because here's the truth, being the nice girl is a trap. It's a cage disguised as a compliment. And the worst part, it's a trap society set for you long before you knew what your power looked like. Why is this trap so effective? Because it plays on a fundamental human desire to be accepted, to be loved, to belong. From childhood, you learned that the way to keep people happy, keep yourself safe, and avoid conflict was to shrink yourself, to mute your voice, to dim your fire. You were taught to put others first, always, even when it meant putting yourself last. And somewhere along the way, you started believing that your value depended on your ability to please. Think about it. How many times have you felt like you had to hold back your truth because you were afraid of being seen as too much, too loud, too emotional, too ambitious, too direct? How many times have you swallowed your pride to avoid rocking the boat? How many times have you said sorry, not because you did something wrong, but because you felt guilty for taking up space? This is the nice girl trap at work. It trains you to believe that your worth is tied to your ability to be small, quiet, and unobtrusive. It convinces you that your dreams, your needs, and your boundaries don't matter as much as keeping the peace or making someone else comfortable. It's subtle but relentless, and it works. Because being nice gets you a lot of things. It keeps you out of trouble. It earns you social approval. It makes people like you on the surface. But what it doesn't give you is respect. It doesn't give you power. It doesn't give you freedom. In fact, it often does the opposite. When you're constantly bending to other people's expectations, you become invisible. Your opinions get dismissed. Your boundaries get ignored. Your potential gets overlooked. People take you for granted, and you start to doubt yourself. You begin to question whether your feelings matter, whether your voice is worth hearing, whether your dreams are worth chasing. And all this because you believe that being nice was the way to survive, to thrive, to be loved. But let me be clear, this is a lie. The world does not reward those who shrink. It rewards those who stand tall, those who are fearless enough to be themselves, flaws, fire, and all. When you spend your life playing small, you teach the world how to treat you. You set a standard of invisibility and compliance, and the world follows that standard because it's easier. It's easier for people to walk all over you than to face a woman who demands respect. Here's a hard truth. Being nice is not a strategy. It's a survival mechanism, a temporary mask you wore when you didn't know any better. But now you do. Now you know that being nice doesn't mean being strong. It doesn't mean being respected. It means being pushed aside. And pushing aside is not your destiny. You were never meant to be a doormat. You were never meant to dim your light to make others comfortable. You were never meant to apologize for wanting more, for speaking your truth, for setting boundaries that protect your energy. This trap of nice girl behavior is the reason so many women end up exhausted, frustrated, and unfulfilled. It's why you might find yourself stuck in relationships where your kindness is mistaken for weakness. Why you get overlooked for promotions because you don't assert yourself. Why your voice in the room feels like a whisper when it should be a roar. So how do you break free? First, by recognizing that being nice is not the same as being kind or respectful. Kindness is a choice you make from strength, not fear. Respect is demanded, not begged for. And your value is inherent. It doesn't depend on how much you please others. Second, by understanding that saying no is a revolutionary act when you've been conditioned to say yes all your life. Setting boundaries isn't mean, it's necessary. It's a way of telling the world, I see you and I see myself, and my needs matter. Third, by embracing discomfort. Because when you step out of the nice girl box, people will push back. They'll call you difficult, aggressive, or selfish. Let them. That just means you're no longer fitting into the mold they want you to occupy. That means you're growing. Finally, by committing to your own growth, to your own voice, and to your own power. This is a journey, and it's not always easy. But every step away from nice girl behavior is a step toward freedom, confidence, and real respect. Remember, being nice has never built empires or changed the game. Bold women who refuse to shrink, those are the ones who change the world. So stop apologizing for taking up space. Stop softening your edges to make others comfortable. Stop letting fear of judgment keep you quiet. Your era of shrinking is over. It's time to stop being the nice girl and start stepping into the woman you were born to be, the woman who doesn't just survive but dominates. Because the truth is the world needs your fire, your voice, your boldness. It's time to rise. There's a misconception out there about what it means to be a bad bitch. Too many people think it's about being harsh, arrogant, or cold. They imagine a woman who's mean just for the sake of it, who walks around tearing others down or acting like she's better than everyone else. But that's not it at all. That's the lie society wants you to believe to keep you small and scared. Being a bad bitch is something entirely different. It's about reclaiming your power in a world that's tried to take it from you. It's about stepping into your truth with confidence, no matter how uncomfortable or unpopular it might make others feel. It's about being unapologetically you, fierce, fearless, and unfiltered. When you're a bad bitch, you don't ask for permission to exist in your full power. You don't wait for someone else to give you the green light to be bold or ambitious. You don't soften your edges to make others feel comfortable. You own your space and refuse to apologize for taking it up. This isn't about ego or putting others down. It's about self-respect and self-awareness. A bad bitch knows who she is, what she wants, and exactly what she will and will not tolerate. She doesn't waste energy trying to please everyone because she knows that's a losing game. Instead, she focuses on pleasing herself, building her life, her dreams, and her legacy. Think about the women you admire, the ones who command respect without begging for it. They're the ones who hold their ground in the face of criticism, who speak their truth even when it's unpopular, who don't apologize for their ambition or their success. That's the energy of a bad bitch. It's the energy of someone who refuses to be small, who refuses to settle for less than she deserves. And let me tell you something. Society hates it when you reclaim your power. Because it's easier to control a woman who's afraid to be herself, who hides behind politeness or passivity. But when you start standing tall, speaking up, and demanding respect, you shake the foundations of that control. You might hear words like bossy, difficult, or intimidating thrown at you. Good, wear those labels like armor because they mean you're no longer living according to someone else's rules. They mean you're breaking free from the nice girl cage and stepping into your authentic self. Being a bad bitch also means setting boundaries that protect your energy. It means saying no without guilt. It means walking away from people and situations that drain you or disrespect you. It means recognizing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. This kind of power isn't loud or flashy. It's quiet and steady, a deep knowing that you are enough just as you are. It's the confidence that comes from self-trust and self-love, not from seeking validation from others. A bad bitch doesn't need constant approval or applause. She knows her value, and she doesn't let anyone else define it. She's comfortable in her skin, even when she's standing alone. And that kind of courage is contagious. But here's the catch. Reclaiming your power isn't easy. It requires you to confront your fears, your doubts, and the voices in your head that tell you to shrink. It means letting go of old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve you. It means choosing yourself every single day, even when it's uncomfortable or scary. It also means owning your mistakes and imperfections. Because being a bad bitch isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about embracing your flaws and using them as fuel to grow stronger. When you reclaim your power, you stop living to please others and start living to please yourself. You become the author of your own story rather than a character in someone else's narrative. You stop apologizing for your ambition, your passion, and your intensity. You stop dimming your light to make others feel comfortable. You start walking into rooms with your head held high, ready to take what's yours. And here's the best part. When you reclaim your power, you inspire others to do the same. You become a force of change, not just in your own life, but in the lives of everyone around you. So what does it really mean to be a bad bitch? It means being brave enough to be yourself in a world that constantly tries to make you someone else. It means standing up for your worth, your dreams, and your happiness. It means living boldly, fiercely, and unapologetically. It means refusing to be silent when you should speak, refusing to be invisible when you should shine, refusing to settle when you deserve greatness. This is your power. This is your time. Stop waiting for permission. Stop shrinking. Stop apologizing. Step into your power, claim your space, and start living like the bad bitch you were always meant to be. Because the world doesn't need another nice girl. It needs you bold, fearless, and unstoppable. From the moment you enter any room, whether it's a board meeting, a social gathering, or even your own family dinner, you might find yourself asking a silent question. Do I belong here? It's a question you probably didn't even realize you were asking, but it's there, lurking in the back of your mind every time you hesitate to speak up, every time you hold back your opinion, every time you soften your words, so you don't ruffle feathers. Here's the harsh truth. You were never meant to ask permission to take up space. And yet for so long, you've been conditioned to do exactly that. Conditioned to doubt your right to be heard, to be seen, to be recognized. Conditioned to shrink yourself so others can feel comfortable. To wait your turn, to be polite, to avoid conflict at all costs. But what if you stopped? What if you stopped shrinking? What if you refused to ask for permission and simply took your space fully, unapologetically, fiercely? Because the world you live in right now doesn't owe you space. It doesn't hand it out freely, especially to women who have been trained to be quiet, to be compliant, to be nice. You have to take it. You have to own it. You have to claim it like your life depends on it, because it does. When you ask permission to take up space, what you're really doing is giving someone else control over your existence. You're allowing others to decide whether your voice is worthy, whether your presence is valuable, whether your dreams deserve room to breathe. And most of the time that permission is slow in coming, or worse, never comes at all. The sad reality is this. People will often try to keep you small if you let them. They'll interrupt you, talk over you, dismiss your ideas, or make you feel invisible. They'll reward silence and punish boldness. But here's the secret. They only have that power because you let them. You don't have to be quiet to be likable. You don't have to shrink yourself to be accepted. You don't have to wait for someone to nod before you speak your truth. Taking up space means standing tall in your worth and refusing to back down. It means speaking even when your voice shakes. It means sitting at the table like you belong, because you do. It means walking into every room like you're a force to be reckoned with, not a guest waiting for approval. It's about rejecting the lie that your needs and opinions are secondary, because they are not. Your voice is not just noise. It's necessary. Your ideas are not just thoughts. They are valuable. Your presence is not just tolerated. It is essential. When you stop asking for permission to take up space, you start setting the tone for how people treat you. You teach them that you are not here to be ignored or dismissed. You demand respect by simply showing up as your full self. But this is not easy. It goes against years, sometimes a lifetime of conditioning. It means confronting fears of rejection, criticism, or being labeled too much. It means facing the discomfort of breaking social norms that expect you to be quiet, humble, and invisible. Yet, every time you choose to speak up, every time you refuse to step back, you grow stronger. You rewrite the story of what it means to be a woman with power. You show others what is possible when you stop shrinking. And here's the truth. The world needs more women who take up space. The world needs your ideas, your energy, your leadership. But it can only benefit from these things if you allow yourself to be seen and heard. Taking up space isn't about being aggressive or overpowering. It's about being confident and clear. It's about owning your right to exist fully and authentically. It's about carving out room for yourself and inviting others to do the same. When you own your space, you give permission to others to own theirs. You become a beacon for authenticity and courage. You inspire others to stop shrinking and start standing tall. So how do you stop asking for permission and start taking up space? Start by believing you belong. Remind yourself daily that your voice matters, your presence matters, and your story matters. Practice speaking your truth in small ways, whether it's sharing your opinion in a meeting, voicing your needs in a relationship, or expressing your boundaries clearly. Learn to recognize when you're shrinking, when you're softening your words, holding back, or apologizing unnecessarily. Challenge those moments. Push yourself to be bold, to be seen, to be heard. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who encourage you to take up space, who celebrate your power instead of fearing it. Distance yourself from those who try to silence or diminish you. And most importantly, give yourself grace. This is a process. You won't get it perfect every time. But every time you try, you're building muscles of courage and self-respect that will serve you for life. Remember, you don't need permission to take up space. You were born with the right to exist fully and loudly. You owe it to yourself and the world to step into that truth and never back down. The era of shrinking is over. It's time to rise. It's time to take your space. It's time to be seen, heard, and respected exactly as you are. You don't have to ask for permission anymore. You just have to claim it. There's something that happens when a woman finally decides to stop shrinking and start owning her power. Suddenly, the world starts labeling her as difficult. It's the go-to insult reserved for women who refuse to be quiet, who challenge the status quo, who demand respect and hold others accountable. And guess what? Let them call you difficult, because being difficult for the right reasons is one of the most powerful things you can be. Society has long taught women that being easy to get along with, agreeable and nice is a way to win approval. But here's the catch. Being easy to handle often means being easy to control. When you're agreeable all the time, you're not just making life simpler for others, you're selling yourself short. You're giving up your power so others don't have to deal with your strength. You're allowing people to walk all over your boundaries, dismiss your opinions, and underestimate your value. Being called difficult is a badge of honor when it means you are no longer bending to fit someone else's expectations. It means you've drawn a line in the sand and said, this far, no further. It means you're refusing to tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or mediocrity in your life. It means you are unapologetically setting standards that reflect your worth. The truth is, being difficult isn't about being mean or harsh. It's about being clear and firm It's about saying what you mean and meaning what you say, even when it ruffles feathers. It's about holding space for your truth, even when others want you to shrink. It's about challenging the people around you to rise to your level of integrity and respect. Let me be clear. There's a huge difference between being difficult for the right reasons and being difficult just to cause drama or gain attention. The former is rooted in self-respect and courage. The latter is insecurity dressed up as conflict. A woman who is difficult for the right reasons is calm but firm, intentional but uncompromising. She knows what she wants and isn't afraid to speak up for it. Being difficult for the right reasons means setting boundaries without guilt. It means saying no when something doesn't align with your values or your goals. It means walking away from toxic relationships, dead-end jobs, and energy vampires, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. It means refusing to settle for less than you deserve in every area of your life. When you embrace this kind of difficulty, you reclaim your power. You stop apologizing for your ambition, your emotions, or your standards. You stop making excuses for others' bad behavior or tolerating disrespect because you're afraid of being too much. Instead, you take ownership of your life and demand that others meet you there. Here's the reality. Not everyone will like you when you start being difficult for the right reasons. Some people will label you as bossy, hard to work with, or too intense. Let them. Those labels don't define you. Your integrity does. And if people can't respect you for standing in your power, they don't deserve a place in your life. Being difficult in this way also inspires others. When you set high standards and hold firm, you encourage those around you to do the same. You create a culture of respect and accountability that benefits everyone. You show other women that it's okay to be bold, to speak up, and to demand what they deserve. This kind of power doesn't come without sacrifice. It means risking rejection, criticism, and loneliness. It means confronting your own fears and insecurities and choosing courage anyway. It means being willing to stand alone if necessary, because you know your worth doesn't depend on approval. But the rewards are worth it. When you are difficult for the right reasons, you build unshakable self-respect. You attract people who value and honor you. You create a life that aligns with your deepest desires and values. You become a force to be reckoned with, a woman who cannot be ignored or dismissed. So the next time someone calls you difficult, smile. Know that you are breaking free from the chains of nice girl conditioning. Know that you are stepping into your power and refusing to apologize for it. Know that being difficult for the right reasons is one of the bravest, most revolutionary things you can do. This is your invitation to stop shrinking, stop settling, and start being unapologetically you. To stand firm in your truth. Hold your boundaries and demand respect. To be difficult, not because you want to be, but because you refuse to be anything less than your full, powerful self. Let them call you difficult. You're just getting started. True confidence is not a flashy performance. It's not about the loudest voice in the room, the most followers on social media, or the boldest outfit you wear. True confidence is quiet, steady, and unshakable. It doesn't depend on external approval or validation. It comes from something deeper, something you build every day, radical self-respect. Radical self-respect means honoring yourself fully, without excuses or apologies. It means looking in the mirror and seeing a person worthy of dignity, kindness, and love, not because of what you've done or what you look like, but simply because you exist. It means refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve in every area of your life. This kind of self-respect is radical because it challenges the narratives that have been fed to you your entire life. It challenges the voices that tell you to shrink, to be nice, to put others first at the cost of your own well-being. It challenges the idea that you need permission or approval to claim your worth. When you practice radical self-respect, you make a powerful statement. I am enough. I am valuable. I am worthy of respect and happiness. And you live that statement every day through your choices, your boundaries, and your self-care. One of the first ways radical self-respect shows up is in your boundaries. When you respect yourself, you recognize that your time, energy, and emotions are precious resources. You refuse to waste them on people or situations that drain you or disrespect you. Saying no becomes an act of self-love, not selfishness. Walking away from toxic relationships becomes an act of courage, not failure. Radical self-respect also means being honest with yourself and others. It means speaking your truth, even when it's uncomfortable. It means admitting when you're wrong and learning from your mistakes without beating yourself up. It means refusing to settle for anything less than authenticity in your relationships and your work. It's important to understand that radical self-respect is not about perfection. It's about integrity. It's about being whole and complete, even with your flaws and imperfections. It's about owning your story, the good, the bad, and the messy, and using it as fuel to grow stronger. When you have radical self-respect, you stop seeking validation from others because you've built an internal foundation of worthiness. You don't need constant reassurance or approval because you trust yourself. You know your value is inherent and unshakable, not dependent on outside opinions. This kind of confidence transforms how you show up in the world. You walk with your head held high, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you know who you are and what you stand for. You don't shrink to avoid conflict or rejection. Instead, you embrace your power and speak up for yourself. Radical self-respect also changes your relationship with failure and rejection. Instead of seeing them as signs of weakness or reasons to give up, you see them as opportunities to learn and grow. You know that setbacks don't define you, they refine you. You refuse to let fear hold you back because you respect your own potential too much. Practicing radical self-respect requires daily commitment. It means setting intentions to honor yourself in small and big ways. It means surrounding yourself with people who uplift and respect you. It means creating routines and habits that nourish your mind, body, and soul. It also means being patient and compassionate with yourself. There will be days when old doubts creep in, when you slip into people-pleasing or self-doubt. That's normal. Radical self-respect isn't about never falling. It's about always getting back up and choosing yourself again. This kind of self-respect is contagious. When you respect yourself, you teach others how to respect you. You raise the standard for how you allow yourself to be treated in relationships, at work, and in every interaction. You become a magnet for respect, kindness, and genuine connection. The truth is, without radical self-respect, confidence is fragile. It wavers with every criticism, every rejection, every failure. But with radical self-respect, confidence is unshakable. It's a force that carries you through challenges, fuels your ambition, and grounds you in your worth. So if you want to enter your bad bitch era, not just for a moment, but for life, start here. Start with radical self-respect. Build a foundation so strong that nothing and no one can shake your belief in yourself. Because when you respect yourself fiercely and unapologetically, you don't just survive, you thrive. You don't just show up, you dominate. You don't just dream, you make it happen. This is your invitation to honor yourself, protect your peace, and live boldly. This is your gateway to true confidence. This is your time. So here's the truth you need to hear today. You were never meant to be the nice girl who fades into the background, who apologizes for her voice, or who shrinks to make others comfortable. That role was never yours to play. It was a story written for you, but it's time to tear up that script and write your own. Your power is waiting for you. The boldness, the fire, the unapologetic strength that lies within you, it's ready to rise. The world doesn't need you to be quiet or compliant. It needs you to be fierce, to take up space, to demand respect, and to live with radical self-respect. Stop asking for permission to be yourself. Stop apologizing for your ambition, your boundaries, your voice. Let them call you difficult. Wear it as a badge of honor because it means you're no longer shrinking. You're no longer settling. You're no longer playing small. This is your era, your bad bitch era. The era where you own your worth, speak your truth, and live your life on your own terms. It won't be easy. It won't always be comfortable, but it will be real and it will be powerful beyond measure. So stand up, step out, and claim your space. Because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the courage to stop being nice and start being unstoppable. Your time is now. Make it count.